We are back for some more F1 25 My Team. Last time out, we had a successful episode. We reached fan rating level 4, and that is a huge milestone in regards to recruiting drivers. Last time out, Mexico, guys, really interesting race. If you haven't seen it, then go check it out. As always, it'll be linked in the top right. Today, though, we're here for Brazil. Sprint weekend, points up for grabs, and we have updates.
Hey boss, what do you make of this?
Now, starting out with a personnel facility department event. We'll have a quick browse to see what that is, but for now, a few things to note. Level 4 fan rating is going to unlock additional sponsor slots. Also, it's going to give us more negotiating power when, speaking, offering contracts to certain drivers, which are going to be part of this episode. Now, we start out with this event, and actually, pretty straightforward, unofficial statement. A member of our durability staff has made a controversial social media post, and we have to basically decide if we want to release them or discipline them. And for this one, it was a pretty obvious choice. We don't really want to drop morale or unbalance the team dynamics, so we are going to discipline them, and also that will make our sponsor proud that we've done that in the right way. Also, we've actually received our driver evolution for the awareness stat as well. So all of our driver stats are now level 1 spec, and we've moved on to level 2. You can see there all three of them: racecraft, awareness, and pace. For this one though, we are going to add a new facility improvement, and it's going to be the facility tools to basically increase owner XP every time a facility improvement is completed. So that will help. That will really help quite a bit, because we're rattling through these right now as we now go into negotiations, and we're going to offer our first contract to Nico Hulkenberg. I'm going to keep my powder dry. I'm not going to rush into this. Only Hulkenberg for now, and let's see how these negotiations go.
Okay, set. Now we wait. Hopefully we'll hear back soon, but these things do tend to drag on. Let's keep our fingers crossed and just focus on what we can control. I'll let you know if I hear anything.
So we'll keep tabs and see what happened. Now, last time out, Jarno Otmir DNF'd, and that was due to a control electronics failure. So we are going to basically take a grid drop in this episode with both of our drivers. We're going to take the hit. Sprint weekend, extra points up for grabs. Now, there is an issue which we'll talk about in a bit with this, but you can see we're going to change all the components pretty much on both cars. We inherited 360 extra R&D points from that failure, and those are going to be reinvested swiftly into new developments. Now, we delve into engineering, and we're going to go into research, and we've received the intercooler, which is going to help engine power as well, which is something we're still looking for here. Also, we're going to go on for some more upgrades, this time working on the fuel efficiency. But look at this, orange arrow, which means regulation change is on the way. And not just for the aero, it's for the powertrain department as well. So we've not been briefed on this, we haven't been told, I have no email, I have no announcement. But there's a reg change on the way very soon.
Good news. We've just completed the development of a part, and it's now ready for fitting. But be sure to check in at the Assign Upgrades screen when you get the chance.
Now, the reason I'm surprised is because this is round 21 of 24. We're nearly at the very end of the season. I don't have a single email about it. It's been like a hidden, secret, low-key reg change, and it's a big one. So yeah, in the meantime, we purchased the advanced tooling to basically reduce development time for upgrades by 15%. Hopefully that will apply to, upgrade protections. Also on corporate, we're going to go ahead and do another upgrade, this one for the sponsor negotiation support team, which basically means if you hit your primary sponsor goal at the end of the season, you get a cash bonus, which we're very close to achieving in 3 races time. Now, we went ahead and did a couple of activities focused on our drivers' focus, and also working on our fan rating and trying to attract secondary sponsors. Now, with that out of the way, again, we can turn our focus to that upgrade announcement. Now, we have a short window here. In this game, the process has changed. R&D points to research, cash to buy developments. So bear that in mind.
Hey, Chief, we've finished developing a part, and it's now ready for fitting. Make sure to stop by the Assign Upgrades screen when you get the chance.
Now, my thought process here really is we've just got to do the best we can. It's going to be the same story for everybody. It's the first time I've seen it, so we're not late. We once again have received more facility upgrades, so we're going to go ahead and do the on-track instrumentation, which basically means 10 extra resource points per practice program completed. And then here we're going to now finally protect some parts. For the aero, we're going to go ahead and get the first 2. Every 5 days we can basically do another batch. Luckily, it automatically dual develops them for us because we have that facility improvement purchase, which is huge. We can't do nothing on the powertrain because we have upgrades currently underway. So for the time being, we're just going to knock out those aero updates, and then hopefully we have time to do the engine. But yeah, that's huge. Absolutely huge. Now, this weekend is a sprint weekend, and this is where we go back to what I mentioned before about me changing components. So we've got basically a brand new engine on both cars. Both cars are taking a grid drop. We are now out of our allocation for the season. In F124, you would take your engine penalty on sprint weekends in the sprint, and that was actually inaccurate and not realistic because in real life, engine penalties only apply to the main race per the regulations. So I've got a big question mark here in terms of what's actually going to happen. Have they fixed this? Have they patched it? Have they forgotten about it and left it like F124? I don't know. My plan though is to not qualify. I want to limit mileage on this power unit. Qualifying would be pointless if we were to get a grid drop anyway. And we're going to see, 1, if we learn how this game works, 2, learn a crucial lesson, and 3, fingers crossed, really, we make the right call. Practice went well, we hit our goals. We couldn't do all 3 programs because we didn't have enough tyres because it's a sprint weekend, so basically you are hard capped by the game in terms of tyre allocation. But yeah, P3 Jarno, P13 Solov, very encouraging practice. Pace looks good. Car feels quick. Engine working well. But guys, what a bombshell. Regulation change out of nowhere, not even actually officially announced yet. Grid drop for the both drivers. We don't know if they're going to start from the back in the sprint or the main race. And yeah, it's all kicking off. We've offered Hulkenberg a contract and we finished practice. So we're going to jump straight in, starting out with the sprint race.
Welcome to today's sprint. This is shaping up to be another fantastic weekend. Interlagos, always a very special race here in Brazil. It's a 2.7 mile circuit with 9 lefts and 6 rights for a total of 15 corners. The fastest lap today should have an average speed of around 135 miles per hour, if, of course, the weather stays dry until the end of the Grand Prix. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's sprint. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position. And starting next to them is George Russell. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Fernando Alonso, Alex Albon, and Tsunoda, Norris, Doohan, Sainz, and Lewis Hamilton, Piastri, Antonelli, Pierre Gasly, and Hadjar, Stroll, Ocon, Liam Lawson, and Ollie Behrman, Solov, Hulkenberg, Bortoletto, and Jarno Opmeer completes the grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head trackside for today's sprint. And alongside me today, a man who I'm always pleased to see join me in the commentary box, Anthony Davidson. Well, we celebrated their first appearance on the grid. Let's look back now at what has been a really good first season for our new team.
Yeah, they've made it through the entire season in Formula One, Crofty. No mean feat at all. And they've learnt a lot this season. They can take that knowledge into next year to hopefully have an even better season.
Now, I'm a little bit conflicted here, and I don't know if my grid penalty has applied to both cars, because we are starting last, as Jarno, and Solov is starting exactly where he qualified in the shootout. So, if that's the case, they seem to have fixed or updated the procedure to match real life, because basically in F124, a grid drop penalty would actually apply to the sprint, even if you took it before. In real life, it only applies to the main race. So F124 was outdated in that point of view. But it seems they may have updated it for this one, which if that's the case, we may have just thrown away the sprint shootout and we might be taking a grid drop in the main qualifying for the race. So we could be starting both races from last place today, and that could be interesting. But again, it's a bit vague. There's no confirmation anywhere. There wasn't any confirmation in the sprint shootout results, which I'll put on screen now, which I'll try to remember. And also no mention of it in the grid rundown just now. So I don't know. I really don't know. So this is going to be interesting to see how it works out. Either way, this could be a simulation for the main race where we start from last. So let's get to it. Anyway, strategy, interestingly, personalized hard tyre sprint race. So I don't mind this. Starting last, I think we could hopefully be strong at the end. So we'll run with it. Fuel, point 2, we're starting last. We should be able to save fuel in traffic. So let's get to work. Interestingly, everybody is on mediums. I hope we are not burning our single set of hards. I'm going to hope we have another set for the race. But if we are, that's going to limit our strategy options for the main race. Anyway, we'll see what happens. Either way, I want to try and treat this as a normal race. And what I mean by that is I want to try and score points in case we do have a grid drop for the normal race. So let's get to work and let's send it. Let's get ready for the lights and let's get to work. Brazil. Uphill start. Bit of wheel spin there on the hard tyre. Towards turn 1 we go. We'll go for an overtake on Bortoleto, or try to anyway. Solov side by side with Hulkenberg at Sauber V97 here in this early couple of corners in this race. Just going to hold back on the battery for now. No point wasting when you're battling for last place. Oh, bit of a move there from Solov in the braking zone. That was a bit risky. Obviously he's trying to overtake Hulkenberg, but that could have been a disaster for us as we now head into the more technical part of the lap as Bortoleto sneaks down my inside. I have to take evasive action and go off track. Luckily we don't get a warning, but I do have some grass on my tyres, so I don't have to grip. Got some too wide ahead as actually Hulkenberg passes Ben, and we're going to try and return the favour here on Bortoleto and sneak back past. Right, I think the AI are absolutely going to rip this open out of this corner with the battery and their acceleration. So we've got to try and be active on the battery to stick with these guys. Right, end of lap 1 then. Very passive, low-key start, but hopefully we're strong at the end.
Okay, DRS is now available.
There's actually a huge break in the train. You can see up ahead the massive space that's been left. We're going to go down the inside of Solov, and we're going to get Behrman as well. Although I'll say that Behrman hangs in there and lets me know he's still fighting it, but we're going to go around the outside and pick that one up definitively. So right now there's no points up for grabs. That break in the train is huge and runs pretty low down. Basically it has sort of split Formula A from Formula B in a way, which isn't ideal. I've got a run on Hulkenberg here though. Hello. Now he's burning and we're not even catching.
Okay, no issues with tyre wear for now. Keep taking care of them.
Side by side, down the inside. Potentially a future driver for this team, but we had to get the move done. That's P18, come on. I thought about the dive bomb there. V-carb, both of them looking a little bit passive. I think we can try it and get a move here on Lawson on the pit straight, similar to the Hulkenberg move. Just trying to get close and set this one up. I think we'll get all 4 of these guys, but after that it's looking a bit tricky to really advance anymore, especially in a sprint race where there isn't really many points up for grabs, only the top 8 score points. Going to try and slide underneath there and get the inside line with Lawson side by side as we race towards turn 1. Cautious dive down the inside, making sure that we don't run into the back of Isaac Hadjar. And now Hajar's actually going to get involved here in this Stroll Doohan fight. Wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. It's building up here. Might be able to get Hajar here to the outside, getting squeezed. Oh my god, Stroll's a bit slow. We'll try and use that to go through. That's a beautiful double overtake. Absolutely beautiful. And that puts us in prime position here to strike and overtake Jack Doohan of P14. Let's set this one up. We've still got plenty of battery available to us. Watch the exit. Let's see, I want to try and get this done without really using overtake if possible. Closing, closing, closing. Here it is. Doohan brakes late, holds on. We're going to leave space. At the same time, putting a little bit of a squeeze on to make it a bit harder for him. We're going to have to burn here to stay ahead. Doohan having a look. Doesn't really get alongside, so we'll move on to the racing line and go through. Right, let's crack on then. Let's see if I can try and drop these guys in the middle sector. Won't be easy, but again, we've got the better tyres for it now at this stage, I'd say. Oh, none of that. Don't want that. That could have cost us dearly. Still a personal best middle sector though, even with the mistake. And we're gone. Just like that. What a lap. Right. Well, we've got half the sprint to go, to be fair, so let's try and catch Ocon. You never know, that could lead us onto Gasly. There is another train there. That is a train that Gasly is in. A little battle of multiple cars. If they scrap, lose some time, that would also go a long way to allow us to catch up. Looks like it could be game on. That train is slow and is losing time. We've caught Ocon easily. And again, we're only getting stronger. So I think points actually could be on the cards here. I'll use a little bit of battery now to try and get Ocon. I want to try and get this move done a bit easier than the Doohan overtake. And a bit more convincingly. Here we go. I'm going to go to the inside this time. I'm deep. I've caught the left front. I've nicked it with a lock-up. That's a costly error. Going to have to delay that one by a lap, which isn't ideal. Letting the car a little bit. Going to have to burn. No other way about it. Just going to have to commit to this one. And make the move stick, hopefully this time. No mistakes. I can commit to it. There we go. Still nicking the front tyres a little bit under braking, but we're through. Ocon will have the RS here. So we're going to have to burn to just stay ahead, which should be manageable. We've got decent straight line speed. I just can't get the RS. I catch through the middle sector, but I lose in sectors 1 and 3 because of the lack of DRS, so I don't think we're going to be getting anything else out of this one. Well, there you go, Verstappen wins the sprint. I almost caught, but in hindsight, that one lap delay where I messed up the Ocon overtake may have just cost me, not points. I think that was a bit too far, but you know, maybe a top 11, top 10. Either way, we'll take it.
And that's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
Job done then. Sprint finished. Verstappen wins just ahead of George Russell by 0.2 of a second. So George doing a good job splitting the Red Bulls. Tsunoda on the podium as well. And then yeah, both Ferraris, both McLarens, both Williams, P7 and P9. Luckily Albon doesn't get any points, only signs, so they will close in marginally in the Constructors' Championship. But yeah, P13 for Jarno, not much that could have been done really. That was kind of it. Solov P19, and yeah, I'm now wondering if we're going to actually have that grid drop now with both cars for the race. Either way, we'll quickly double check the standings and the drivers. No change really in the constructors though. Williams do close in a little bit, but the gap is still double their points, so we're looking okay. Anyway, it's time for the normal qualifying, which we'll partake in if I can see there's going to be no grid drop. If there is, we won't qualify.
Formula One returns to Interlagos once again with the stage set for what promises to be another classic Sao Paulo Grand Prix. Sebastian Vettel famously clinched his third championship here in 2012, and just 4 years later, Max Verstappen treated us to one of the finest wet weather drives of all time. We're racing today then at Interlagos, a historic 2.7-mile circuit and one of the few anti-clockwise tracks on the calendar. 15 corners in total, 9 to the left and 6 to the right, with a technical middle section opening up to a flat-out Sector 3. That gives us our best passing opportunity down into Turn 1. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. World champion Max Verstappen starts from pole position, and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Antonelli, Russell, Oscar Piastri and Sainz, Fernando Alonso, Leclerc, Norris and Lance Stroll, Behrman, Bortoletto, Nico Hülkenberg and Tsunoda, Lawson, Ocon, Pierre Gasly and Isaac Hadjar, Doohan, Albon, Soloff and Jarno Opmeer completes the grid. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track. And alongside me in the commentary box, my old friend, Anthony Davidson. And let's talk momentum with this driver. What a sprint it was. They start at 0 once again for today, but with a huge amount of confidence, surely. Well, they'll definitely be glad that it's not a sprint race today. Let's face it, the sprint couldn't have gone much worse, but what we're looking for today is a reaction. Interlagos, always one of my favourite weekends of the season. Love Brazil, adore this track.
Absolutely spot on, Crofty. I wish you could pick this circuit up and place it, copy-paste it on multiple different locations around the planet, because it is sensational to watch, sensational to drive. And for all these drivers here in Brazil, it's a great time to get stuck into this Interlagos circuit. It's an anti-clockwise track, lots of important corners to get right, and it's a track where you can make or lose an awful lot of lap time.
Right, now we know how the procedure works in F1 25, and the grid drop system in sprint weekends now works correctly. It applies to the main race, like in real life, not to the sprint. So we could have actually qualified in the sprint shootout and potentially got some points. Either way, we've learnt our lesson. To be fair, it only cost us 2 points to Williams in the constructors. So lesson learned, and we now know F1 25 is accurate to real life, which is great. Grid drops now apply to the main race. So back row of the grid, Opmeer, Solov, as it should be. So for this one, we're going to use the hard tyre again. It seems like we have 2 more sets, apparently. I'm not sure if they're both fresh, but we're going to use one of them for the first stint. I want to go long on the first stint and kind of replicate what we did in the sprint, and then run the fast tyres at the end on a lighter fuel load, hopefully to not overheat the rear tyres. So, yeah, if we have 2 hards, I'll run 2. If we only have 1, I'll try and do maybe like a hard medium, medium, or hard medium soft, depending on how far we get. For the fuel, again, 0.2 worked well in the sprint, so we should be fine in the race. And yeah, we've got the data we need, so let's get to it and let's just send it with nothing to lose and everything to gain. Tyres look good. Let's get to work. I think we have another set of hards available, which is really, really good. So this could be a good race for us. Sprint pace looked good, but now let's convert into big points. Perfect lineup. Tyre mixture up ahead. Lights on. That's a good start. Got the tyre temp this time. Whoa, Albon there moves right across. I've got the wrong brake bias on, which we'll quickly fix. But that was a committed defensive move there from Alex Albon, that's for sure. Trying to find a line. Oh my god, nearly lost an end plate there on the back of Hadjar's car. He's on the same compound, so if I can pass him, that would be great. To the outside we go. Got to wait though to get the throttle down, because Solov having a passive exit out of there as we head into this right-hander. Going to try and get down the inside here. We'll get Solov as well. Albono on the hards, if I can pass him, that would also be great. Down the inside. Nice. Hopefully Solov can get past as well. Of course, Williams, our nearest rivals in the constructors, so the further down we relegate them, the better. Good first lap though. Just like in the sprint, we're looking pretty decent pace-wise. We're closing on doing here. Just...
DRS now enabled. DRS enabled.
Good acceleration at the last corner up the hill, but we lack a bit of VMAX. And that's with a brand new power unit as well, by the way. The AI just have either very late ERS deployment on the straight, or they just have low wing and high top speed. Got some battling up ahead, which looks to be the Sauber. That's going to break the train exactly in the same way in the sprint, more or less. So important that we clear these kind of lower tier Formula B cars to make our way towards the Formula A fight, which won't be easy. Going to sneak a move here on Doohan, which wasn't intentional, but he broke so early into the hairpin that I had to try and take it. Around the outside of this hairpin, we're going to just swing it around the outside and make the move. So good first 2 laps here. Decent bit of progress being made. And now DRS is enabled. If we can get Lawson, that would also massively help. We've got the run up the hill. Just going to keep the battery on and commit to this. Here we go. Towards turn 1.
No tyre concerns at the moment, just focus on the driving.
Nice. A little bit wide of the apex, but we're through. Lawson's battling. Oh no, actually Albon's battling with Doohan. Lawson's right here behind us, but we should be fine to stay ahead. Look at the battling ahead. It's the 2 Saubers. That's where the train is being snapped. And it's also, again, around P13, exactly the same as the sprint. Now Gasly getting involved as he looks at Froome and Hulkenberg. Oh my god, the dirty air is horrible there. Just washed out so much. Trying to pass Ocon here. Around the outside. Hello. Supreme confidence. Getting out the dirty air. What an explosive first 3 laps this has been so far. Making incredible progress. The sooner we pass these guys, the better, so that Formula A don't get away. Gasly, Hulkenberg, all chasing Bortoleto. This could also kick off, to be fair. Bortoleto without DRS might be a sitting duck. Let's see. Towards turn 1, there goes Hulkenberg. Gasly's going to follow. We're going to set a personal best, and we're going to keep it moving. The 2 Saubers side by side through the Senna S. Good exit from us. We're going to get Gasly here. Hulkenberg doesn't have DRS, but we're boxed in. Oh, we just lost momentum there at the crucial time. Around the outside, though. We're going to try and make it stick. Yes, we do. Beautiful move. Oh, I'm getting that dirty air again. Fine. That's fine. Great start. Great start. We might be able to get Gasly and Bortoleto on the pitch straight and the run towards turn 4 if we're lucky. I don't have a ton of battery though. Trying to find traction in 3rd gear. Let's accelerate. Come on, here we go. Up the hill. Just going to follow Pierre. That's going to be the plan. Bortoleto, defenseless, bit of a sitting duck. Around the outside, he's still there. Can't quite commit to turning in. Can I get Gasly here? I'm going to try and launch it early with the battery, but I think we're a bit far. Actually, down the inside we go. And there it is. We clear everyone up to P13 in 5 laps on the hard compound tyre. That's what I'm talking about. If I can get DRS on Behrman now, that would be a huge plus. Huge middle sector here required to get within a second of Behrman and Stroll. Also, they're on mediums. So if we pull this off, this would be a great achievement. And we've done it already. Wow. What a start to this race. Now we can chill for a lap, build some recharge, and go again. Time for action then. Here we go. Right, action time. Stroll. We'll go back through on Behrman. Gasly lurking behind us. These two are going to go side by side here, so they're going to be slow off of turn 2. Not sure who got DRS there. I'm going to try and follow Stroll through the gap. Stroll doesn't have DRS. Behrman does. He's going to just hang in there. Gasly down the inside. I've got cars either side. I've got to leave room. Pierre trying to go through, but we'll just muscle our way back in front. And now we'll get Stroll on the pit straight. There's a train of cars ahead, losing time. They're being led by, I think, a Sainz or Alonso. Either way, if we can leapfrog Stroll, we might be able to launch onto that group on these tyres. So I don't want to mess around too much here. This is taking me a bit longer than I'd like. So I want to get Stroll now and try and disappear. Here we go. Whoa, big moment for Stroll. That's the invitation. That's all we're going to need. VIP access to the party. Here we go. DRS. That Aston's pretty slippy on the straight. We go through. And we cut across to make sure he doesn't even try to recommit. Down the inside of turn 1. And now we drive away. Now we disappear. Come on. 4 seconds. P11 already. The points are just up the road. Gasly, Stroll battling. They're going to lose really big time now, so that's going to be us long gone. Slowly catching the group ahead, but it's proving difficult. Some laps we gain 8/10, some laps we don't gain nothing. If they behave, it's tricky. If they misbehave, we gain. So, just got to keep chipping away. Oh, Russell in.
We're approaching the pit window now, and you're going to be on hards next time.
So he's the first car to bite the bullet, and that looks like a 2-stop to me. What's our tyre wear looking like? To be fair, it's not terrible. Could potentially do a 1-stop. Could stretch a 1 if necessary. To be fair, it is only Russell who's pitting, so that 2-stop doesn't look as appealing considering the lack of cars that are doing that strategy. So we might be looking at a 1-stop here, especially it will be a 1 if all these medium runners get to lap 16. Wow, Russell is quick though. He's already caught up and is within my DRS, so he'll be going through. Alonso's in, so that could be a 2-stop.
We're going to box this lap and push hard on the in-lap.
That's some serious pace from Georgie boy. Right, we're going to let him run here. I'm not going to hold him up. He's going to be straight onto the back of me through here. So we'll just let him go through and crack on. None of my business really. If I can hang on to his DRS, then so be it. He's going to be rapid. Now Sainz is in the pit lane. He was in the hard tyre and he's got off that compound. If we want a 1-stop, we need to get to at least lap 20. That looks a bit distant, but not impossible. I think if we're willing to take a bit of pain, we can make it happen. I will say, I'm knocking out these 111.2s every single lap. So that gives me a bit of confidence I can probably just stay out. We're keeping the gap to Tsunoda and co in that battle ahead, which Russell now is trying to get involved with. So I think we just go long and try and get to at least lap 20. If we can go longer, then I will.
Safety car, no overtaking, reduce your pace. Keep your delta number positive as we form up. I've got information on Stroll. Right, they've got a serious car issue. It looks like they're retiring.
This makes it extremely awkward for us. I've got an idea though. Actually no, it's too short to risk. I'm going to go medium. We can't go to the end though, I don't think, so we might have to box again. Wow, everyone's literally, the McLarens are stacking. Some cars I think have missed a pit, or chose not to pit, which is interesting.
Right, Nicola's in the pits. Nicola is in the pits.
We're going to be just behind Russell.
You only have to stop once now. 1 stop left.
I did think softs, and then I could go back onto the hard tyre. Oh, this is tricky. This is really tricky. I mean, we're going to be under delta.
Right, drop your speed. Our delta's too low and we're going to risk a penalty. Slow your pace immediately.
We do have a fresh set of hards. I feel like the smart thing to do, we don't have any fresh mediums. What if we box again this lap for hard tyres and go to the end? Is that the play? I think we box again and go hards to the end. I think that's the smart play. It's not ideal that we have to box twice, but it means we don't have to box again. Under normal racing conditions, I think that's worth a gamble. So I'm going to go for it. I might be at the back, I might be last, but again, it just means no more pit stops, which I think could work out for us. We'll have fresh softs and basically a fresh medium available to us for the rest of the race. But yeah, it means we're going to be at the back. I don't see a ton of hard tyre runners, so everyone will have to box again, but Solov and myself, Otmir, we can go to the end, so that could be huge.
Safety car in this lap. Safety car in this lap. Let's make sure those tyres are up to temperature, and remember, there's no overtaking until the timing line. Stay in position until the green flags.
Right then, let's get back to it then, shall we? I have no immediate interest to race ahead.
Green flag.
This will be a carbon copy, really, of the first stint. We're going to hopefully just carve our way up the field, especially those in Formula B. And really, we just don't want Formula A getting too far away. So, I think this is the right strap. We might suffer now and at the end, but I think this is the right long-term play to get some points guaranteed today. So, let's see. Also, we leave that option open if there is a late.
No need to worry about the tyre condition for now. Everything's looking good.
If there is a late safety car or virtual safety car, we can potentially switch strategies. Down the inside on Solov, easy pass there. We'll get that one done immediately. And now it's going to get a bit harder because we have, rather than the first stint where we had hards mixed in with mediums, we now have softs mixed in with mediums. So the general pace should be higher. But it won't take long for those, especially on softs, to get out of the way and box. So we'll just manage, although I feel like I can already get some moves done here. So I'm going to go for this. I'm going to commit to this one. Here we go.
Okay, the stewards have now enabled DRS. DRS is now online.
On the outside of Doohan, a little bit wide at turn 2 there, got some understeer. But we're through. Should be able to hold on to this with DRS and a bit of battery as they start to scrap ahead again. So it's going to cause a break in the train, so we have to get through the traffic once more. Past Ocon on the outside. Inside line, try and stay tight, break the dirty air. Down the inside on Albon. We're going to get that one. Don't quite get it over the line. I have to go around the outside of the left hand there to get that move overtake complete. Bortoletto, Lawson next up. These are critical laps. The quicker we pass this traffic and get into clean air and start setting our pace, the better for our race chances. That was a horrible last corner though. That inside curb can be very inconsistent. I don't think I'm going to challenge Bortoletto just yet. We're going to have to wait a little bit longer. Lawson doesn't have DRS, so he might be under pressure here from Bortoletto. Down towards turn 4. Meanwhile, Hulkenberg up ahead, battling away. Through we go. On Bortoletto, we've got the run. I'm going to commit. I'm going to use my battery here to try and go through. Lovely. So this runs up to P12. Behrman, Hulkenberg lead the train. Look at the gap already though. This is what I mean. Just too much time loss. Oh, we get all that dirty air. Try to look around the outside of Lawson there. Might be able to have a little cheeky look here though. Down the inside. The camber helping us as we go through, and now we can basically sit and just watch these two throw haymakers, and we can try and pick up the pieces. This time we get a lovely exit out of there. So we're going to be up close and personal. Wow, Behrman's in already, off the softs. Already. Maybe he had some sort of damage that I didn't notice, but that now is going to put us in prime position to get Nico Hulkenberg here. Here we go. With some DRS. Using a little bit of battery. A bit of contact as I tried to force him back up high. But there it is, P12. Right. So now we set our pace. We've got lots of cars on softs and mediums yet to box. But we have put ourselves in prime position for some big points in this race. So now we just have to drive at our pace. We're already catching the group ahead. Those softs I think are already fading. So I think it won't be long until cars start to pit. Lawson pit on the last lap off the medium tyre. We've already seen Behrman pit off the soft. And yes, cars are in. A lot of cars are in. Some off the medium as well.
We're approaching the pit window and you're going to be on mediums.
Not sure about that one, Chief. Pace-wise, my last 3 laps, 1 minute 10.3, 1 minute 10.4, and now 1 minute 10.5. And look at that, we're P7, Solov is up to P8. If Solov doesn't box, this could be the masterstroke. This could be the smart strap. And there goes Gasly. Norris also into the pits, plus others. Only the 2 Ferraris are staying out. And that's because they're on the hard tyre, so they've seen the vision, they've read the script, and they've whacked the hard tyres on. So they're locked in to pretty much finish on that compound. But look at this, we're P3 and P4 right now with both cars. Solov will drop back. Traffic behind on fresher rubber will go through, but if he doesn't box, there could be points on the table for him, but there's potentially a podium on the table for us. Ferrari's battling, Russell goes quickest, Verstappen passes Solov. It's all happening. We're scheduled to box on this lap, but obviously we are going to the end. Verstappen's arrived. To be fair, it's going to be quite hard for me to contain him. He's quicker than I thought on those mediums, are holding on better than I expected. He'll get me easily. I'm just trying to run my pace using some battery. We'll let him have the inside line and let him go through easily. There we go. Target really is to try and beat Russell. P4. That's possible and achievable. We'll have the RS here, but we'll lose it after this, but it'll be a small help. Solov still hasn't boxed, by the way, and he's on for points, but I think he has to box. Unless he has run a different compound and I missed it. Because if that is true, then he can go to the end and that would be points. But I swear he's done hard. I don't think he actually boxed for a medium or a soft. Oh. First signs, struggling with tyres a little bit. Solov still not pitting. I wonder it's because I'm technically scheduled to box, so he's not boxing thinking I'm going to come in. So he's basically just delaying it. Oh, I think Russell just crept into my DRS. He's super quick. Really, really quick. Quicker than Verstappen. That hard tire's working for him now. 2 to go. This will be difficult to contain. I'm running out of rear tyres. I think really P5 is going to be where we finish. Russell just has too much pace. I mean, look at that. He's on to me already. We'll try and defend it. But it's going to be difficult. Into turn 4. Oh, just able to give Russell the squeeze.
Okay, clear.
Yellow behind. That's a McLaren, I think. That's a freebie for Nicola. But surely he has to box.
Okay, some information on Norris. Okay, it looks like the problem's terminal. They're retiring the car.
Right, it's going to come down to the last lap then. We'll see what I can try and do with George. Play some tactics maybe, but it's going to be difficult. I don't have as much battery as I'd like. I'm going to use my battery now. I'm going to try and delay it a little bit to try and essentially give myself a bit of a DRS, but look at that. Russell's so quick. Oh my god, that's tricky. Not a lot of grip. Russell got such good acceleration there. I'm out of battery already. I don't think we're going to get this. No, I just don't have the tyres. Let's just bring home a P5. A P5 will be fine. And there we go. Leclerc wins at Interlagos. Hamilton second, Ferrari 1-2. Beautiful strategy. We are going to bring home a P5 with Otmir, and I think Solov has dropped out of the points. I'm pretty certain. But it was a good strategy and a risk worth taking.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
Charles Leclerc, what a drive, what a victory, he wins!
They had to be decisive with their overtaking today as they worked their way through the field. And those kind of race victories are so enjoyable because it's not just like winning from the front. They really had to work for it today.
And once all the hard work is over, and after lap of brilliant racing, it's time now to celebrate with our podium trio. And who gets to take the top step of the podium? Yes, it is I, Leclerc, Charles Leclerc on top.
Well, there we go. What a race. What an incredible weekend, to be fair. Last to P5, beautiful strategy on the safety car. And yeah, we managed that really well, considering, the engine penalty situation with the, not qualifying. It made sense. I've done it in the past. Why qualify? Wear your engine when you're going to get a good drop. It wasn't clear when the pen would be applied. So I think this worked out okay in the end, and everything was just fine. So we also minimized engine mileage. Now, this is the combined results, but for the actual race itself, P5 for Jarno, and Solov finished in P13. So he actually was on a legit strategy, and he must have started on mediums. Maybe I forgot, I can't remember, but I could have sworn he started on hards. If he did start mediums, fair play. But yeah, he nearly got points. I say nearly because in the end the gap was 12 seconds to Alonso, so he really hit the cliff. He did box a few laps before me in that safety car phase, so he'd already put some wear onto his hard tyres, so that would explain why he was struggling more than me for pace. But what a performance. P5, great points. We outscore Williams, who get points again, Aston Martin. So it really is a good day in the office. If we delve into the standings, you can see Jarno now is P9, comfortably P9, and I think mathematically is pretty much a wrap. Solov needs one big result, and I think he's also got P10 wrapped up. Of course, Verstappen won the Drivers' Championship last time out, and then in the Constructors, you can see Red Bull lead the way, and that's all you need to know. We're looking good versus Williams, and that is everything that matters to us. So, happy days, we'll take that. Anyway, guys, on screen now, fan rating. We should gain. Both drivers had a good weekend. There might be some negative feedback, but generally speaking, it was a great day in the office and a good day to be a 97 Racing F1 team fan. So yeah, we'll take that and keep moving on. I believe next up is going to be Vegas, so that should be fun. Bit of an unknown, a track that I half enjoy, half hate. It's a weird relationship I have with that one, but the racing dynamics are always fun. And yeah, we'll keep on moving on all the way into Season 2. Guys, cheers for watching. Smash the like button. Let's try and hit over 1,000 likes. Subscribe for more daily F1 25 content. Also, as always, a big shout out to the members of the channel. Check out the 2 videos on screen. And I'll see you guys soon. Have a good one. Ciao, ciao.